What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. February's here, which means it's time to discuss my most anticipated movies of the month. Before we begin, let me know in the comments which movies this month you're most looking forward to seeing. As always, this is just a reminder that this will be in order of release date and not ranked by how much I'm anticipating each movie. Also, make sure to hit that thumbs up button if you like these videos, as it helps me out immensely by getting my content out there. And if you're new here, I hope you consider hitting that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with reviews of new releases, older films, hidden gems, and so much more on a near daily basis. So after only 5 movies to discuss on my January list, we're going back to talking about 10 movies as I normally do. As per usual, this is not a comprehensive list of every movie getting released in the month of February, just the 10 I'm most looking forward to seeing, between some big studio releases and smaller streaming and VOD releases. Though I do want to give a shout out to 2 movies on here. One is Jackass Forever, which I won't be reviewing as I really don't cover reality TV, documentary stuff, however you want to classify it, but I do think it'll be a lot of fun and I'm really looking forward to seeing it. And Cyrano, which I included in last month's list, but it then got pushed back at the last second and very quietly to February 25th. I'm still looking forward to it. I plan on reviewing it, but I don't want to repeat it for this list as I'd like to keep the spots open for 10 other movies that I have yet to talk about. And they are, in release order, Slapface, which focuses on a boy who deals with the loss of his mother by creating a dangerous relationship with a monster rumored to live in the woods. This indie horror film went on a festival run in 2021 where it received critical acclaim, including winning the Audience Award for Horror at the Cinequest Film Festival. It looks like a moody little film that uses horror as a means to showcase things like processing grief. And while that's something we've seen before, it's something that can be emotionally resonant when done right. And judging by the trailer, this looks like it'll do a nice job of balancing thrills and emotion, so hopefully it'll be an interesting watch. And it hits Shudder on the 3rd. Moonfall, which focuses on 2 astronauts and a conspiracy theorist who have to save humanity when a mysterious force causes the moon to start hurtling towards Earth. It's been a long time since I've really been excited for a Roland Emmerich movie, if really at all. But you know what? Why not? This looks like it's going to be some big, dumb fun, but there's not necessarily anything wrong with that, especially as it's been a while where we got a movie like this, that being an original blockbuster disaster movie. And that's not to say Emmerich's perfect at this sort of stuff, because he has had his stinkers before, but this is ultimately his wheelhouse, and it does look like fun, so I think if there's someone who can successfully give us some decent enough mindless entertainment, it's him. Plus, you have Halle Berry and Patrick Wilson in the lead roles, along with Samuel Tarly himself, John Bradley in our 3rd lead role. So with a charming cast leading the charge, I can't see it being too bad. But we'll see once it hits theaters on the 4th. The Worst Person in the World, aka the best movie of 2021 that's getting released in 2022. This Norwegian dark romantic comedy has been getting nothing but rave review after rave review since premiering at Cannes in July, and for those who did have the privilege of seeing it last year, it's usually been in the top 3 of nearly everyone's lists. I already talked about this in my most anticipated movies of 2022 list, so that should tell you right there how much I'm excited for it. I think between the critical acclaim, as well as hearing how it highlights such relatable themes about finding purpose in your life, that's more than enough to get me hyped. So I'm looking forward to this, and it hits US theaters in a limited release on the 4th. Kimmy stars Zoe Kravitz as a tech worker who discovers recorded evidence of a violent crime, only to be met with resistance when she tries to report it. Steven Soderbergh's back with another new film this year, now having cranked out at least 1 new movie a year since returning from retirement in 2017. And this looks like it'll be a high-speed genre thrill ride, and while Soderbergh's known for trying his hand at a number of different styles, tones, and genres, whenever he does tap into heavy genre territory like thrillers, it's a lot of fun, and that's what I'm expecting this to be. Plus, this will be a fun little precursor for Zoe Kravitz before we see her in the movie everyone's hyped about next month, The Batman. So I'm excited, and it hits HBO Max on the 10th. Big Bug, which focuses on a group of bickering suburbanites who find themselves stuck together when an android uprising causes their well-intentioned household robots to lock them in for their own safety. After nearly a decade, French director Jean-Pierre Jeunet, the man behind films like Amelie and Delicatessen, has returned with another film that sees him pretty much in his comfort zone. With him being known for his quirky humor, sometimes set against oddball premises, this essentially looks like the embodiment of that, with his stylish, vibrant irreverent look along with a genre-heavy approach being played for laughs. While I haven't seen every film of Junet's, I do consider myself a fan, and I'm looking forward to his return as he has been missed for his sheer originality more than anything. And this hits Netflix on the 11th. Catch the Pharaon, which focuses on a former champion boxer who embarks on the fight of her life when she goes in search of her missing sister. Starring actual professional boxer Callie Reyes, who also has a story credit, this received quite a lot of praise when it hit Tribeca Film Festival last year. The trailer does a good job of not giving us too much, but it appears like it'll be a solid mix of character drama along with some high-intensity thrills. I'm honestly not quite familiar with most of the cast and crew, so I only have the trailer to really go off of as far as my excitement, but it does look promising, so I'll be tuning in. And it hits theaters and VOD on the 11th. The Cursed takes place in 19th century France, where a mysterious, possibly supernatural menace threatens a small village, and it causes the pathologist who comes to investigate to confront his own demons in the process. Now, if you keep up with the festival circuit, you might be familiar with this one under a different name called 8 for Silver, as it was called when it premiered at Sundance in 2021, which I honestly think is a much cooler name. But it received fairly positive reviews out of Sundance, and while I'm not that big on period pieces, I do like horror movies, and this looks like it might possibly offer a bit of a different take on the werewolf movie in particular. I'm approaching this with a little bit of caution, but I'm still interested in seeing what's done here, and it hits theaters on the 18th. Strawberry Mansion takes place in a future where the government records dreams and taxes them, as a dream auditor gets caught up in the dreams of an aging eccentric. This is another one I heard about back from Sundance, and this looks to be the trippiest film on this list. Judging by the plot synopsis, as well as the fact it takes place in a dream world, it seems the film is going to be very allegorical in nature, with a lot of satirical elements thrown in there. But what especially caught my attention is its use of stop-motion animation, a medium which I quite enjoy. Though the trailers kind of keep things pretty vague as far as what else to expect from the story, other than there being quite a few interesting creatures our main character meets. There's a whimsical, almost nostalgic-like vibe that I get that especially reminds me of something out of a Roald Dahl adaptation, which can work to its advantage, but something tells me this one's going to be one of those love it or hate it movies. Either way, I like something a little different, and I'll be checking this one out. It hits theaters on the 18th, followed by a VOD release on the 25th. Hellbender focuses on a lonely teen who discovers her family's ties to witchcraft. Now, this one premiered at Fantasia Film Festival last year, where it received critical acclaim, and I gotta say, this one looks absolutely wild. It's another one where if you see the trailer, it keeps things pretty ambiguous, but judging from the little I read, it appears to mix elements of a coming-of-age drama with supernatural horror. Given some of the hype around it and that somewhat trippy-looking trailer, I'm all in on this, despite only knowing so much about it, but it hits Shudder on the 24th. And finally, Studio 666 sees the Foo Fighters struggle to record their 10th studio album as Dave Grohl is forced to battle supernatural forces within the house. So, here's something I just didn't know I needed in my life, but between this and last year's absolutely bizarre but little seen The Nowhere Inn, if we're starting to see a trend of famous musicians playing themselves in original horror comedies, I'm all for it. Especially everyone who's been doing it so far, it seems like it fits them so well. This one looks absolutely goofy. I'm a fan of the Foo Fighters, and it's clear from the trailers that the band looked like they had an absolute blast with this. What's more exciting is that we're in for some fun cameos as well from an assortment of comedians and musicians like Lionel Richie, Will Forte, and many more who are all in on the fun. So I'm really hoping that we'll have as much fun watching it as they did making it. But we'll find out when it hits theaters on the 25th. And that's all as far as what I'm most looking forward to. But in the meantime, let me know. Which movies are you most looking forward to in February? Is it anything I listed here? Was it something I left off? Let me know in the comments below so we can discuss. Also, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and share it. And for more movie reviews and film discussion, please make sure to hit that subscribe button to stay updated. Thanks for watching, everyone, and keep having fun with film.